Hi everybody! So I have a request to channel Nikola Tesla, and I do have a little background on who this is, but we'll just say that he is a super brilliant man with some extraordinary ideas that, and some of them have not come into this world, have not manifested here for the betterment of society, but perhaps they will one day. Either way, I'm just going to relax and get connected, and we'll just see what is shared. It's very quiet right now. It feels so quiet. It actually feels like, have you ever been in like an old country house in the middle of nowhere? There's nobody around, and the only sounds you would really hear are maybe a creak in the floor. You don't really know how that creak got there, but sometimes it just houses creak. It's so silent. I feel like I'm in a distant home in the middle of nowhere, and it's just that type of energetic feeling about it. It's very silent. He's talking to me in a different way. He's more so studying me. I took the time to actually read Wikipedia so I could know his whole story. There's a lot of information out there that Thomas Edison stole some of his work. There's information out there. I mean, there's so much information out there that Tesla didn't get the appreciation that he deserved. And I wanted to give it an honest look at his life and everything that he experienced. I know he experienced issues with finance, but he also experienced no issue with finance. There were some periods of time where he was quite successful, financially successful even. I think he lived a good life. And I think I'm at peace with where he went with his life and what manifested from his life. It's interesting because if some of these inventions were a part of the world today, for instance, the death ray, would that really be a good thing? Perhaps that is a part of the world today, we just don't know it. But some inventions would actually benefit society in ways that would help us grow or work together in harmony. So I don't, as a person, just myself, exploring this, I don't have an opinion other than it was a good life. I think a lot of people would say it was a disappointing life for somebody who was so brilliant. We're talking about, he's sort of saying, what do you want to know about me? One thing I had thought about last night, I knew that I was going to do this channeling today. I thought if there was any sadness or grief that he had experienced in his life that his soul was not able to let go of, that I would be open to doing energy work for his soul. Or maybe he would like to simply share a message with the world today. I don't know what that would look like or sound like. So I wasn't really sure. I just wanted to keep it open and see where this would go. It's so quiet. He's sort of sitting in a heavy set chair, but it's got an older time feel to it. It has an elegance to it, but it has a lot of density to it. It's a heavy set chair, and it's a bit in the shadow, and I see him in the shadow. He tells me he's still doing his work today, even in spirit. He shows me two images. One image, he's in the shadow, The other image, she stands up from the chair, and I see what is a very white skinned man. It almost looks ghostly looking. He said he could never let go of his work, not even after death. He never could let go of it because it was his spirit. He's really sincerely working very hard on inventions that he is determined to manifest in this world. I talked to him about my disappointment in this death ray, but I talked to him about how beautiful it was, the part about how he fed the pigeons and he created little inventions to help them heal if they had a broken wing. And a specific pigeon that meant a lot to him, it really touched my heart to read what he had said about that pigeon. I liked that the most out of everything that I read, was the part about the pigeon. It's kind of strange to say that because out of all the inventions and the life story, it was the story about the pigeon that really meant the most to me. And it was the story about the death ray that really bothered me the most. It wasn't about financial success or financial struggle. He was living in hotels. He wasn't paying his bill, so he would move to another hotel. I think he was doing okay. So quiet. I'm going to walk into his space. I'm actually walking, it does feel more like an old-fashioned hotel more than anything. I'm walking into his space. There's not a lot of excitement or energy activity going on here. In fact, I expected something more vibrant. I expected something more magical. He shows me he is many. He asks me which part of himself am I communicating with. There's another version of him standing here and wanting to share what is like wine and dine me kind of feel to it. There are many versions of him sort of running around in a really fast circle as I stand in the center to try to access this version that is at the heavy chair still sitting in the shadow. I feel like I am in the center of a wheel and it's going really, really fast around me. It's going so fast around me, he shows me that the speed of how fast this goes, it evaporates the dimension of the space. So this is going so fast that the space actually is disappearing now. I'm not even in the hotel anymore where he wants to show me something. He's getting really excited because I said the word magical, and he really likes that word. And he likes to think of his inventions as a magical thing, as magical. He doesn't like that death ray. He wants it to be a magical invention, as in this is the power of what radio waves, or this is the power of what these invisible forces are capable of. And once we work with these invisible forces and start integrating them into our life, magic happens. It's not for it to be scary, he says. It's for it to be magical and expand the horizons of the imagination and the mind of what is possible. He likes me. He likes that I'm honest and how I'm choosing to decide how I feel about something and what I find to be meaningful. And in the process of finding meaning, he says you need to have many perspectives. Not just one perspective, death ray, but to see it from another viewpoint is actually quite magical. And how you can work with frequency waves in order to do extraordinary things and terrible things, but terrible things that could also be extraordinary too. He is so just a super flowing like waves and waves and waves of information just like bursting out of him, like, and he's excited about it. He's really, really excited about it. There's so many of him. And he's like Mr. Do-It-All. There's lots of him doing many different things at one time. And he's pumping forth his spirit energy into this world to get us awakening to our own imaginations and our own creativity and the magic inside of us, because he says magic is invisible too, and magic is a frequency, and we can tap into that frequency and manifest that frequency into actual physical inventions that change the way we live our lives, that make our lives better. He is showing me he's come up with some brilliant way where he seemed to know within himself that he was a frequency himself, and that when he would die or pass on, he would become a part of all the frequencies. And that actually was exciting for him, to transition from the body to a frequency, and what that might feel like or be like. And now as a frequency, he has so much access to so much more than he ever had before. He doesn't have to worry about money. He doesn't have to worry about where he's going to live or how he's going to impress people, try to convince people. He can work with frequencies in order to get the information to the right people, in order to create these dreams into our reality and make our world better. He's really really fast. He's showing me so many things that are very positive, super, 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 super positive. He's talking about human ascension or human awakening, the state of the planet right now. He's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's totally going to be okay. You have no idea. You have no idea how awesome it's going to get. All of these ideas that I'm having are coming into your planet, and they're going to start getting put to work, and people are going to start using them. You have no idea. It's just getting started. It's just getting started. It's really, really exciting right now. He's really like, go. Awesome stuff going on right now. He says, as a frequency, I can hear everybody. I can hear what everybody's thinking and saying and believing in or not believing in, and what their intentions are or not their intentions. And I can find the right frequencies that want to work with my frequency in order to manifest these inventions with me. Not just to come up with it all by yourself, right? Well, it's amazing when we can see what our soul is capable of, but it's so much more fun when we can work together. Putting our ingenious ideas, our hearts, our souls, our frequencies, and working together, supporting each other, supporting really positive ideas, and getting them into this world. He says, do not worry. And don't worry about a thing. Everything's going to be fine. I'm telling you, everything's going to be fine. I've been a part of the frequency of this planet for so long, and I'm doing more for this planet now that I've passed on than I was ever doing as a human being. That's what he's saying. He's saying something along the lines of, I had to have the human lifetime in order to have a projected persona. But now that I have a projected persona and I've put all of these ideas out there, now I'm stimulating people's ideas. I'm what could you say? I'm influencing people, and influencing people who want to participate in manifesting my dreams. And I want to help them help manifest my dreams, because these dreams are here for the betterment of all. They're here to put magic into this world. He's just really so positive right now. Like it's total, it's a total spin on the first experience. Was kind of creeping me out. I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect that. And now that we're getting going, it's like Tesla coil is like, but things are revving up. Things are getting really, really hot and really, really exciting and so fun. And he is not a fearful person at all. He has no fear about the human race or where we are going. He is all about getting these ideas out to the world. But it's like his spirit never died, because the spirit of inventing has never died. It's always been there. I feel like his spirit has always had the spirit of invention. Some part of his his totality has always had a knack or a curiosity for creation. We all do. We all have a knack or curiosity for creation. But his soul got to take it so far and come into this life and really invent some awesome stuff and show the world some really neat ways of thinking. And he's still doing that. He's still doing that. It's funny because he's talking about my frequency and what I've been up to this week, because I've been really in the mood to, I don't know what has gotten into me, but I've just really been inspired to get to know other consciousness in the universe, and get connected and share their style of message. See what it sounds like, see what they would have to say, see how it feels different. And so he's talking about how I've channeled like God, Thoth, this Egyptian god, this goddess Isis, and this Sri Krishna. So they're kind of like deity types, and now I'm channeling him. He's like, am I a deity? Do you see me as like a deity? I could be the deity of invention, the god of inventing. He likes that. He's like, if you're creative, if you're curious, if you're an inventor heart, talk to me. I would love to help you with your ideas and your inventions. I love that frequency. I love that energy. I love that excitement and see what happens, in the experience of trying and trying and trying and discovery, and dreaming and imagining and visualizing, and then putting the visualization into an actual like physical object that is making it happen, where it's not yet, and I've got to tweak it here and I've got to do something there, and now I'm successful, and now I'm making something happen, and now I have an idea that is actually being put to use. He's like, you can talk to me. If this is something that is what you are here for, I would love for you to welcome me or welcome my opinion into your world. I would love to help you. Very positive, very, very positive. He's really specific about, like, I'm like, okay, well, as an inventor, you want to help people, but you're really interested in, like, inventing stuff, right? What about helping people with animal problems, like the pigeon idea, like what about other stuff? Do you want to just talk to people about anything, their daily life stuff, or you're really into inventing things? Like, I'm getting a feel for, is he, like, how dynamic is his frequency? How much does he want to participate? Like where is he at with this? So just give me a minute here. He is showing me a new scene. He shows me a man, and there's a contraption. It's much larger than himself. I see some steam coming out one side. It feels like there's things that go up and down and up and down. There's mechanical sounds that I hear. I see this man in a white lab coat, and he's got a clipboard, and he's taking down notes. He's wearing glasses, and he's watching this. It does not look like Nikola Tesla. He doesn't have any hair. He's got it doesn't look like him, but it looks like an older man. An older man from modern times, let's say. This older man from modern times, the energy is getting really exhausted. It's getting very tired. It feels singled out. It feels alone. It feels like this man has to figure it out all by himself. He has been trying to decipher what is this variable that he's missing, and he cannot come up with it. He just can't seem to think of it. He has gone through the mechanics of this contraption over and over again. This would happen with this, point A to point B to point C to point D. And all these points, like, everything is flowing perfectly. So what is it that I'm missing that this is not working? There's some variable in here that is missing. And this man is going to go on for another 10 years. He's already, he's already an older man, let's say in his late 60s or 70s or something. But he's got another 10 years before he's actually going to figure this out all by himself. It's going to take 10 years, he says. He says the reason why it's going to take this man 10 years is because he's going to try to do it all by himself, but he doesn't have to. He can actually say, spirit realm, Nikola Tesla, or somebody I admire, Albert Einstein, whoever. But we're talking about Nikola Tesla right now, and he's saying, ask me to help you. Fill your mind with an alternative idea. Something outside the box, something that you missed because it is outside of the box, and it's something you hadn't discovered quite yet because there was some new technique in the midst of it all, that you would have to stumble upon. But he's saying that he has a special way to give you frequencies of hints that you will feel it, and that frequency would translate in your mind as an image, or an idea that you never thought of. That sound really weird, but it seems to work or fit. Perhaps there's potential here. He's saying that he can work with frequencies in order to send you what is like through the television, but the television of your mind. He can send frequencies into the television of your mind to show you what the missing link is. He says, do not take 10 years to figure this out. Please, just ask me. I have the ability to send you frequencies like a television, to show you what it is that you're missing. That way we can move this stuff along already, because the world is ready for the inventions. The world is ready to heal. The world is ready for change. And so he's like, ask me. I'm here to help you. That's what he says. He says, Abby, does that answer your question? I say, I think that answers my question, and I think that makes sense. He likes that. He smiles. It's just quiet right now. I feel like I'm gravitating back to what is sort of like a very quiet room. I don't really know what else to do here, I say to him. I don't feel any more interaction going on. I just feel the silence of this space. I ask him, what is this version of yourself? He says he would call this version deep thought that is emotionally deep as well. He says, you don't think that I ever felt deep in my life? I never asked why? I never wondered what my ultimate purpose was if I couldn't be valued more, so to speak. That I wouldn't feel frustrated, that I wouldn't feel upset. He says, I did. He says, this frequency is the deep side of myself, the feeling side of me. The side of me that felt like a shadow was cast over me, or that I could not be seen because for some reason I was still in the dark of this world. He asks you if sometimes you feel like you are in the dark of this world. Perhaps you too are trying to make a difference, but you can't seem to be heard, or it's just not working out for you in the way that you feel it should. And people aren't valuing your dreams in a way that they deserve more attention. He says, yes, I mean, very, very clearly, yes, I have felt this in my life. I have felt this in my life. He says, what got me through it was I never stopped inventing. I never stopped trying. I never stopped seeing how far I could go. And he tells you, you should never stop inventing, you should never give up, and you should never see how far you could go. Why would you? Why would you ever give up on your dreams? I never gave up on my dreams. Even when I was an old man, I never gave up on my dreams. He says his soul remembers this feeling. And he then too, as a frequency or a spirit, also remembers this feeling. He remembers this feeling very well. He says, Abby, do you have the power to heal this feeling within me? I'm talking to him about this. I'm telling him that he doesn't need to feel that anymore. And he can let go of that feeling. Why is he choosing to still feel that he is free? He tells me because it made an impression on my soul. Like it branded my soul. I'm telling him about a thought I had had in my own world throughout my life. Because I'm always thinking about all the different ways you could live a life. And people would say they're living a hard life. There's all different types of ways to live a hard life. I thought if there could be one way to live a hard life, it would be to have passion and inspiration and motivation to do extraordinary things, and not a single person in the world would ever value or appreciate or even participate in being a part of that dream with you. And therefore, you basically were invisible in some ways. He says I definitely wasn't invisible. But he says that if you believe in your work enough and others do not believe in it as much as you do, you feel it. It brands into your soul. It's frustrating. It feels frustrating. It feels perplexing. Deeply, deeply perplexing. I show him the extraordinary version of himself that just took me on a journey into what magic can be with invisible frequencies. And I tell him that, well, I ask him, which version are you? The version who is aligned with magic, or the version who still feels the imprint? But I tell him that I admire his soul for being both. And in that way, I don't know that I could appreciate or value him as much as I do right now if he wasn't both. And in that way, I tell him that instead of feeling heavy, why not just receive a hug and remember that you're still making a difference in this world even now. He says, I want to make a difference in this world. He asked me if I think that he is making a difference. Obviously, we've all heard of Tesla Motors, and I don't think there's any coincidence on that. And if that is just one way he's making a difference, that is a very valuable, very beautiful, very extraordinary way. And it's making a difference in a lot of people's hearts and the way that we feel inside about the balance of our planet and the inventions that are contributing to a healthier environment, or an environment that is getting sicker. He smiles and he says, "Thank you for saying that." He's starting to transition again into a spirited inventor type. He has so many things he wants to show me, but he wants to show the world. Let's just see. It's almost unbelievable, because I wouldn't even know how to translate this, but he basically shows me how we are masters of the universe. When we start to understand frequency waves and how the universe is created through frequencies, we could move the planets themselves. That's what he shows me. We have the power to go anywhere we want to go in the infinite universe. With frequencies, we can do anything. That's all there is to say about that. Everything is relaxing. I'm feeling more disconnected. Just coming back into my body. I feel a little like kooky in my head right now. Alright, so that is Nikola Tesla. I hope you guys enjoyed this channeled message. I did not know what to expect today, but I knew this one was pulling at my heart, and I knew this would be a wonderful experience, or it would be an interesting one, or maybe an unpredictable one. I didn't know what we were going to get, but I definitely felt a connection with it, and I'll be thinking about this. Alright, so that's all I have to say. If you guys are interested in exploring a psychic session with me, please visit me at my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all a wonderful day.